Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here. And today I am bringing you a 2v1 Medieval Kingdoms 1212 Siege. And this is a really cool battle. And I'm loving the night sky so far with the rainy night. Hopefully that's going to kind of bring some diversity to the sieges and land battles I've had on my channel so far. This was a subscribers battle replay submitted by Gearhawk. And it was an interesting scenario in the way that they set this up. So it's a 2v1 siege, but the attackers could each bring 20 units, and they had 18,000 each. And the defenders could bring, the defender could bring 40 units with 27,000. So it's almost really not in the attacker's advantage. As you can see with the balance of power, the allies have 4,600 men, and the defender inside actually has more men at 5,300. So very interesting to see how this plays out. I have not watched it yet. This will be my first time. But it's about 40 minutes long, so it's not a terribly long siege battle. We'll go ahead and take a look at the army comps and then get the battle started. Also, for the rules, I should note, actually, it was max 2 artillery, max 2 cav, max 5 missile units, and obviously the double unit limit for defenders. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Kingdom of Castile first. So right in front, it looks like he's got some ballesteros. Good versatile crossbow infantry. Looks like he's got 5 or 6 units of them. They are under a shower of fire arrows, though, coming from the defenders and from the towers. And right in behind, he's got some adventurer Scutafari, so these guys are pretty elite. It's a little bit hard to see, but I just think it adds a lot to the cinematics of the battle. We can kind of zoom into them right there where the torch holder is. Yeah, we got some Rodaleros over here on the gate. We got some Lanceros Almediras, so they're kind of like a standard spear unit. And what else do we got here? We got some more Rodaleros and Aventurer Scutafari. We got some of the Equestres Militares for his cav. I think he's got one on each flank. He's got another in the trees over here. Then hidden in the forest, he's got some dismounted... How do you say that? Dismounted caballeros. But they're pretty hidden. They're a little bit hard to see. And behind here, he's got some more spears. And then he has his general, El Rey de Castile. So very nice there. We'll go ahead and jump to the other side, which I believe is the County of Toulouse. No, I'm sorry, it's the Duchy of Burgundy. So we got some dismounted home d'armes over here, pushing up the siege towers. Another unit over there. Then he does have some cav over here, some Jean de Cheval. And then we've got a catapult. We got some pavesiers of the late period. Got some Savoyard crossbowmen. So I believe 4 units of them. We got a great bombard over here. Some free company footmen on the towers. He's also hiding his heavy pole arms. He's got some dismounted gendarme. And he's got some more Jean de Cheval over here. And his general is Charles the Bold, Duke of Burgundy. And he's got a unit of English longbows over here. Kind of funny that the English longbows are fighting for a predominantly French faction. And then we'll take a look at the defending army. So he's got a couple of units of cav deployed outside the wall. He's got some Schnet, or some Knet, and some Ritter. So very decent shock cav. I hope that he'll wait for the correct opportunity to use them and not blow his cover right away. And we'll kind of go over his force. Most of it is the same units. He's got some herdmen here. So tier 1 medium melee infantry. And he's got some Bondier, really cheap infantry there. He's got some Hanseatic infantry, though. These guys are pretty good in melee as well as an archer unit. Here's some more Bondier. Just going to kind of pan over. What has he got? More herdmen, more herdmen. Then he's got some bow Bondier of the high period over here. Then he's got some Vaipnir. think this is one of his best infantry. Take a look at them. That is pretty elite. Let's try and get a nice nice look at them since it is dark. Very cool. So yeah, they're looking pretty good. He's kind of got them for the second wave. And then for the final stand over here, we've got a catapult, got some crossbow Vapenir, and some more Vapenir. And for the Norwegians that watch my channel, if I'm mispronouncing this name, I do apologize. But it's either Vapenir or Vapenire. But Vapenire sounds more French or Spanish than Norwegian. So, and then we got King Ingus II of Norway hiding behind here. And I think that's about it. And we can go ahead and put this to play. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like the Duchy of Burgundy is a little bit slower moving forwards. And we're actually just in time here to catch some of the infantry moving off the walls. This Bombardier is going to break very easily, but I'm really happy to see that he has these cheap units here. Because yes, they're going to get cut up, but he's actually using them to slow down the attacking forces so that the OP Attila towers can just wreak havoc on all of this infantry moving in. I'll really try to focus my zoom-ins kind of on the firelight so you guys can see what's going on because it is quite dark. But it does make for a pretty epic battle. Here we go. We got some more infantry moving in. I think this is some herdmen. Yes, it is. So some more tier 1 infantry, but they're going to help deplete some of the Scutafari. You can see that they're already down about 30 men on one and 30 on the other. So 60 men lost. The Bombardier is breaking, but that's pretty much what they are supposed to do. Got some herdmen on the gate over here. Very well-timed attack by the Spanish player. He's kind of focusing his siege towers on all flanks. Let's go ahead and zoom in here and take a look. Yeah, again, this Bombardier, it's really not going to last that long in melee, but I respect what he's trying to do by slowing down the enemy to allow the Attila towers to get as many kills as possible. This Bombardier does look pretty sweet, though. I really love axe units. There's carnage. Just pure carnage. I would much rather be wounded by a sword than an axe, that is for sure. So I'm going to be popping on the HUD a lot for you guys too, just so you can see the unit cards, just because it is a little bit darker. But how we looking? Yeah, it looks like the Duchy of Burgundy is finally moving up his siege towers on this section of the wall. A little bit slower to the attack on this flank, though. I would really focus on trying to push. This does kind of look a bit like a killing zone, so I can understand why he doesn't want to move in just yet. But we don't want to kind of allow the defender to be taking on the Kingdom of Castile one-handed, just because he's got 40 units, you've got 40 units, so it's not like, you know, it's not like the Kingdom of Castile is going to do a lot of damage and then, you know, you can just clean him up later. Like, it's basically the defenders inside the city have more men than the attackers, so they're really going to have to conserve their ammo for the best units. They are actually pushing in quite well against the Norwegians, though. And he's trying to move out his are these the Hanseatic infantry, I think, that are going to get caught out? He's got some bow Bombardier and some Hanseatic infantry. Yeah, I would try to get them out of there as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, it looks like he's actually going to get caught up in melee. So that's really not good for the bow Bombardier. Yeah, I think that those two units are pretty much dead. Whoops, sorry guys. He is pushing up some more of the Hanseatic infantry. Let's try and jump into this fight here. Oh, these rainy nights. It reminds me of Helm's Deep every time there's a battle on a rainy night. And I'm one that really hates being caught out in the rain in general, so just imagine to have to fight in the rain. Ugh, that'd be the worst. Okay, so we've actually got some of the adventurer Scutafari breaking. Yeah, we got some Rotoleros of the late period also breaking over here. Some adventurer Scutafari breaking. Ooh, there's just a lot of breaking for the attacking forces over here. The Ansetic infantry and bombardier are doing really well with focusing the flanks of this heavy tier infantry. And look at this over here too. The dismounted homed arms of the late period also breaking. Wow. We do have some fighting over here though. Got the homed arms of the late period for Burgundy against the herdmen of Norway. But with all of that breaking from the attackers, you just got to remember, too, he's got 3 tiers of defense, and this is his weakest tier. I love when the enemy soldiers catch on fire, too, because then you can actually see a little better of what's going on. Oh, I can hear the crossbow bolts coming in. You can see the sprays of blood. And yes, just like that, dismounted homed arms broken as well. We've got some crossbows over here, some 7-yard crossbowmen. But how much of the attackers lost already? 1,200 men. Wow. Although the enemies have lost 1,200 as well, so that's pretty even. Nice play with the cav here by the Kingdom of Castile, catching these 2 units of crossbows off guard. So that was an excellent play there. Oh, you can hear the crossbow bolts the longbow bolts from the bombardier right next to them. How are they not broken yet? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. This Hanseatic infantry is really good in melee. Even against that really nice charge from the shock cav. They are still holding, allowing the bombardier some time to fire into the cav. Looks like we've got a unit of Vepnir coming in. Let's go ahead and jump into them. So it looks like he's going to be blocking off this little street as a next layer of defense. And I think they're going into shield wall as well. So they're slowly conquering the outer walls. The attackers, at least the Kingdom of Castile, he has lost a decent amount of good soldiers. But what I'm really paying attention to is this cav here. Hasn't moved as of yet, but we will see. And just look at the amount of red unit cards. There is a lot of fresh infantry waiting to be sent to the front lines. Looks like over here we've got some Pavaziers of the late period moving forwards. Or I guess, are they moving forwards? Yeah, looks like. Now, can they get through this gate? I don't believe so, because it is still owned by the Kingdom of Norway. Although it says gate damage 100%. The gatehouse of the oil, though, is not destroyed yet, so I think that's what he's waiting for. He doesn't want to lose this very expensive Tier 3 unit to the oil. So probably one more shot, and then he will be able to push forwards there. We got some Bondier here, but it looks like they're starting to get chewed apart by some arrows. And where is he firing with this? On this poor unit of English longbows over here, which I think very cleverly the Duchy of Burgundy is trying to get in range of this this bombard, sorry. So it looks like he's moving that bombard away. Good call there. Oh, we've got some more cav rushing in over here. Charging into the herdmen. And then pulling out very, very quickly. This arrow tower still is owned by the Norwegians, though, so that's something he's going to have to be careful with. Oh, and then he's charging right into the side of this bombardier, so that'll definitely break them. Looks like the Cav was victorious, and the spears were going to move in against the Vapenir, but I think they're going to regroup and kind of get all their troops inside the walls. I would push these crossbows up and start taking this tower here. I'm kind of curious if they're going to charge into these herdmen and shield wall. Oh, looks like they are. Gonna test the waters, see how strong the men are. Oh, they are kind of holding. Looks like most of them were held, but a couple are breaking through, so that's not going to be good for those herdmen. But the Cav did suffer some pretty heavy losses on that charge, and I think he's trying to pull them through. And when you pull them through, it does cause a lot of losses. Yeah, look at the morale is really dropping there. They're shaking. They're pushing into this other unit of herdmen that's pretty depleted. Where is he? What's he going for? Is there something, juicy target up here or something? Not really. It's not like he can get a good flanking charge in behind there. But the battle's kind of slowed down a little bit, so let's follow them and see where they're going. Where are these brave knights of Burgundy going? Are they just going to charge down the hill at the bombardier there? It looks like a perfectly timed assault from the Duchy of Burgundy, pushing his Cav up on both sides. Oh, so that was actually a really good play there. But did he manage to take out the gatehouse? What's breaking over here? Some herdmen. This Cav unit. Yeah, they did suffer some losses. I think it was from the gatehouse. But they just managed to break that bombardier pretty easily. This unit of Jean de Cheval down to 25 men, but he's actually done quite well with them. 133 kills so far. Looks like we've got some explosive rounds from the catapult coming in against the guests. Oh, I forgot to show you guys this. I think these are the Norwegians' most elite archers. But you can barely see them in the nighttime. Alright, so looks like it's slowing down just a little bit. Last of the Hanseatic infantry is being cleaned up over on this flank. They're capturing some of the strategic choke points. We do have some Vapenir moving up to block this road, though. Oh, yeah. Looks like the infantry over here for the Kingdom of Castile is broken. Heavy melee tier 2 infantry basically not even affecting this Vapenir. Oh, they steadied. They're going in for another charge. Very nice. I think this Vapenir is just a little bit too elite. Without the chance of being outflanked, they usually last for quite a while. Yeah, broke them again. And that's probably going to be for good this time. What do we got over here, though? It looks like we got some charging from the Cav coming in. Ooh. It was a pretty solid charge, but the ranks were just so thick. Yeah, they didn't really break through. I think that's a little bit of a waste of the Cav. They are losing decisively, though, which is good. And that adventurer Scutafari is back. So they're going to kind of put some pressure on the Vapenir over here as well. On the other side, it looks like... it looks like some of the Cav has actually been pulled back inside the city. We got some Ritter. I think the defender was a little bit worried by the presence of all the enemy Cav inside the city. So he's pulled back one of his units to kind of deal with that. We got some free company footmen kind of just staring down the herdmen here. We got the catapult crew engaged, or the great bombard.
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
Looks like this Ritter's actually going to charge into these crossbows. Let's go ahead and zoom in for that. Oh, let's try to jump up a little bit. Yeah, just in time. He did try to get his spears in front of it, but I still think that charge was pretty solid. And then the Cav's just going to try to pull out just like that. How much damage did they do to those units? Nope, not too much. They're going in for another cycle charge against these spears here. I don't know about all this cav charging against the spears. That's a little worrisome. You don't want to really lose your cav in a siege battle. They can be pretty effective if you use them correctly. And now that they're now that they pull back, I think they're just being fired at by the crossbows. Yeah, you can kind of see them all being picked apart over there, especially early period Ritter. Oh, but it looks like we got some infantry charging in as well. Oh, and here comes wow. That was the general's bodyguard actually charging into the back of his own spears. So it kind of saved these herdmen from getting a really decent frontal charge. And we got some firing coming in. Oh, be careful firing next to your general like that, though. Oh, I'd be very careful. Just look at that cav. So heavy and elite. Alright, how are we looking for the Duchy of Burgundy? Not too bad, actually. Yeah, these herdmen are just getting destroyed by the 7-yard crossbows. Herdmen over here also not doing too well against the Free Company footmen. They're actually going to outflank them now. Oh, that is a cool shot. That is a lot of soldiers pouring in behind these poor Norwegians. Yeah, I'd probably just pull back, I think, to the final layer. Just kind of cut off these 2 choke points here. Got some more cav charging in over here against the Vapnir. He does have 2 units, though, so this cav is probably going to get destroyed. Which is too bad, because I'd imagine that they are quite expensive. Alright, so let's take a look at the man count here. Wow, it's actually pretty close to even. The Allies have 100 less more men, but I'm surprised at how even it is, to be honest. And I think it's really down to the cav. The cavalry is doing a lot of work in this siege. As you can see, we've got some more of the Equestres Militares, and we got El Rey of Castile moving around as well. But this cav is breaking. I probably wouldn't push any more men over onto this flank. I just don't think it's worth it. Especially, you're going to have to be very careful with your general's bodyguard because they have some crossbow Vapnir right here. But it looks like the charge is coming anyways. You can barely see it. It's really dark. I'm trying to find the lightest portions of the battle for you guys. That's not too bad. Yeah, I don't know if they're actually going to be broken. Yeah, they're... See, it's actually a perfect position for the crossbow Vapnir over here. Because if you look at their shots, all of their men were protected, and the cav was on this slope, so they were able to fire at them pretty effectively without hitting too many of their own men. So that's some really good positioning there for those crossbows. But over here, the Burgundians have broken through. We've got 1 unit of Vapnir over here that's holding back some depleted units of Free Company footmen. But we still do have 2 very healthy units of dismounted gendarme. I'd just be careful that they're not in range of these guests over here, because if I was the Norwegians, I'd be targeting that that polearm infantry. Looks like we got some buildings on fire over here. Can you flank around, like, through this? I wonder if you can kind of come around through here and then get in behind them. Yeah, it looks like the Burgundians are just waiting. He's probably resting his troops. Yeah, and that cav is breaking there. Even, I don't know if he broke the units or not. No, well, he broke one of the units, but there's still the other unit here of Vapnir. And we got the crossbow Vapnir, I think actually firing on El Rey of Castile himself, so he's going to have to be very careful there. But he's not going to be careful. He's going to charge right in. Is he? I would not if I were you. Oh. Careful with that crossbow. That crossbow unit there. Yeah, very smart of him to move him out of the battle and save him for another time. We got some more Vapnir here. What are these Savoyard crossbows firing at? Are you guys firing at all, or? Not exactly sure what they're firing at. Possibly this unit over here. But it looks like it's going to calm down just a little bit. The Norwegians still have 3 units of cav outside the walls. And the balance of power is still dead even. But all of the attackers are inside the city at this point. There's nothing outside the city left. So I think that the defender is going to be very patient. He's going to wait probably until most of the infantry is committed at the final stand. And then he's going to rush his cav in. The only thing he has to be careful of is that they don't capture this gate here, because they've got this gate captured and this gate captured. So I think that, yeah, this one can still pour boiling oil. And I think, yeah, this one can too. So if he doesn't want to lose too many of his horsemen moving forwards, then he will have to keep that gate open. This crossbow infantry is going to be dead now. That was very silly of them to move forwards to try to get the general off guard. We've got this massive bright pillar here. It looks like something out of Skyrim. It's like a main objective. But yeah, it looks like that crossbow infantry is going to get out just in time, and then the general's going to pull away. So it's kind of slowed down a little bit here. There was so much momentum at the very beginning, but now I think the attackers are kind of realizing that it's going to be tougher than they thought to take this second layer here. Oh, we've got a catapult crew that's charged in. Oh, point blank here with the catapult. Oh, that is deadly. Oh my goodness, this poor unit of Vapnir. I would just try to retreat them ASAP. That is scary. Firing from like 15, 20 feet away. That's one way to break down a choke point. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping we get another good shot, so I'm like right here to see it. No fear, men. Yeah, well, I would be fearful if I was you. They're about to throw some explosive pods right into our faces.
And I want to see plenty of guts.
No, nothing's going on. That was it. That's all you're going to fire at. Did manage to kill a decent amount there, though. But, oh, the catapult is out of ammo. And yes, very smart I've done this tactic before myself, but I don't think I've ever showed it on my channel. What he's actually doing is he's pushing his siege engines right through the shield wall, and what it does is it actually disrupts their formation. As you can see, like, they've been pushed out of formation here, and then you got to follow it up really quickly with some of your spears, which it doesn't look like he's doing. Or does he have some of the Free Company men coming in? Yes, he does. Yeah, so that's a good call there because he's kind of pushed them out of position. I would have followed much quicker with my sword, so I could have continued to push with my catapult a little bit farther. But as soon as you do that, I would be disengaging with this catapult crew and pulling back, just so I can use that for the final stand as well. Oh, we've got the general bodyguard coming over here. I don't know where he's going for. He's going right for this unit here. Oh, good charge, catching this unit of Vapenir unaware. I probably would have gone for that other unit over there, but I think that this was a much nicer target, being that it was a more healthy unit than the other one. I'm really impressed with how aggressive this player is being with his general. I'm usually much more cautious, but look at that. That was almost a full unit beforehand, and it's already down to 88 men just because they were almost running. They ran right into the charge. So very good there. We've got this other unit here of Vapenir. I'm hoping that he's going to go right up against this because this is going to be a juicy target. Yes, he is. So excellent work here by the Cav. I'd say the Cav play by all of these players is on point. Very, very good. A lot of Total War players, including myself, probably mismanage our Cav most of the time. But these guys definitely know how to use them, especially in a siege battle. Whoops. So yeah, routed that unit over there. This unit is going to retreat with 87 men to the final stand. So how are we looking now? 1,900 for the Allies, 1,400 for the enemies. So the defenders are now behind on the man count. But you can see how he's moving forwards his Cav into strategic positions over here. He's got one all the way over on this side too. So I think from what I understood in the email, the attackers were not aware of this Cav. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just early period shock Cav. Well, no, he's got a high period, 2 high period units out here as well. So that's something he's going to have to be really careful with. Here's some more Cav, the Duchy of Burgundy, charging headlong into that unit of Vapenir that already received some decent charges. Oh, this torchbearer. Oh, he was caught. We got some crossbow shots coming in as well. But they broken. Yeah, good play by the crossbows, the ballesteros over there finishing off them. Oh no, and we've got some of the Duchy of Burgundy soldiers in right here. Yeah, that's gonna pretty much wrap up the second layer of defense. Yeah, there go. You can see the Vapenir are breaking. Excellent, excellent charge there. And they're pretty much just going to cut down the retreating soldiers. Oh, goodness. I would not want to be on foot in this battle, that's for sure. So yeah, it's heavily swung into the defender's favor at this point. 600 man advantage, but they now have to deal with these 2 choke points here. So it looks like he's got the defender's got about 5 units of Vapenir left, and 2 units of crossbows, and his general, and of course he's got his other 3 units of Cav over here. Here they come, pouring into this unit of ballesteros that was probably going over to capture that gate that I was talking about earlier. And they're just pretty much going to ignore them and just run right into the backs of this Burgundy unit here. Oh man, those Paviziers of the late period. Then looks like we got some Cavs, some Jean de Chaval trying to catch these Schnedt, but they are just too fast. They've slammed into the Savoyard crossbowmen. They're starting to waver, and they are pulling out. And the general for Charles the Bold is going to have to get engaged because they are going for the catapult at this point. Wow, so that was an excellent play there. Really threw the attackers into a bit of confusion. And we've got this other unit of Schnet coming in now, or Knet. And look over here as well. We've got some crossbows that are not paying attention. Oh, get that cav going before they turn around and fire. Oh, here they come, here they come. You can hear the hooves thundering. Nice. Oh, this Norwegian cav is just so fast. So fast. Yeah, so they're now engaged against those crossbows. We've got some of the infantry being pulled back. The general for the Castillians is... Whoa! Did you guys see that? One volley, and the general and all of his bodyguard that was left were slain. That was incredible. And then we've got some more Knet over here coming in against the catapult crew. That's really not anything that I would concern myself with. I try to run through them if I could. But look at all these ballesteros that are coming here. I think he's going to try to sneak around them if he can. That's like 5 units of crossbows against 1 unit of cav. But I'm going to keep zooming out because I don't want to miss too much there. This tower is also supporting the cav in this fight, so very good. And how are we looking over here? Unfortunately, this Knet... or maybe the K is silent. It might be necked. But Charles the Bold is effectively slaughtering that cav. And the Ritter over here has been broken as well. But even still, very, very effective play. Unfortunately, the lead for the attackers in man power is still 500, though. But I'm wondering if this cav will be able to defeat the Burgundy cav. Probably not. The Jean de Cheval are a tier 3 unit versus the Knet, which are just a tier 2. Very valiant effort by the cav, though. Excellent, excellent work. That first charge was incredible. He just hit 5 units in the space of, 10 or 12 seconds. Oh, they got some horses burning there. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that finishes off the last of the cav there. So we're going to start focusing on this final stand. We've got the dismounted gendarme over here fighting against the Vapnir. The gendarme definitely have the advantage in this fight, just being the heavy tier 3 pole arms that they are. They've also got really good plate armor versus the Vapnir. They've kind of just got more cloth, chainmail padded armor. This battle's been good, too. I really haven't had to hit too many slow motion parts. And the frames are actually good, too, at about 30. So even with the rain going on, still seems to be under control. This Vapnir's got to just be getting tearing apart. Yeah, it is. Down to 93 men. Dismounted gendarmes. Down to 128 from 160, but I think it's mostly down to this crossbow Vapnir. I think they're getting some good flanking fire. Or actually, yeah, they are actually firing. Firing down at the sides of the Jean de Cheval, or sorry, the dismounted gendarme. Where is King Ingrid? Was that his name? Ingrid? Inges. Inges the second. He's in the center. He realizes, I think, at this point that there is no escape for him. And he is actually going to die here. Or maybe there is. Is he going to try and sneak out here? Sneak out in behind? Oh, no, he's just charging headlong right into the dismounted gendarme. Interesting, interesting. I would be very careful, especially with the fact that he's closing in with his pavisiers, or pavisier. Yeah, I don't really think that that charge is worth it. He lost almost half his bodyguard in that one attempt. Let's jump into this Vapenir. You can see the forces moving forwards here. Oh, that is a cool shot. Here they come. And the battle for the keep has begun. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the attackers are going to take this one, but not without a valiant effort from the defenders. We've got a couple units of Vapenir over here holding back, again, the very elite dismounted gendarme. And I think we got some swords in there as well. I keep trying to move around to see which is the lightest, kind of the lightest projection so that you guys can see. Let's look at this guy with the torch over here. I love the mechanics of those guys because he'll probably be killing people, beheading people with that torch. There we go. We got the heavy gendarme just slamming their way up this hill. Have they broken through on the other side? Just about. Yeah, they've broken over here. We got some last unit of Vapenir over here moving forwards. But the General, Charles the Bold, is here to kind of spur on his men for one final push. This is basically going to be the last stand here. Oh, looks like Charles the Bold is just going in for it. Wow. Charging right through that shield wall formation. Here comes the rest of the cav. Which is kind of a fitting end considering the amazing cav play that I've seen in this battle so far. That it's going to be a cav that kind of just finishes off this unit here. Yeah, we got King Ingriz, the second of Norway. He's actually being targeted by some of the crossbows, which is a little bit cheeky, a little bit unfair. You've already got the advantage. No need to slay the King of Norway by arrow. Let him die a warrior's death. Look at that moon in the background, too. Very, very cinematic. See from the advantage of the defenders there. Them having to push up this very steep rampart. there's some marching. Are more infantry coming up over here? Yeah, it looks like we got another... Oh, yeah, they pulled out their dismounted gendarme, but they're moving back in at this point. We've got the General Charles the Bold charging up onto the walls. Oh, that was a devastating charge. Just slamming these crossbows right up against the wall. You can see them lying dead there at the feet of the great Burgundian Duke. That actually killed quite a bit of them. Wow. We got a couple units of Savoyard crossbowmen coming in. 145 kills on them. It looks like the gendarme are wavering, but so are the Vapeneer over here. Down to the last 13 seconds of the game. So yeah, definitely a valiant effort by the defender. I believe it was Azrian Fox. He's a guy I played with quite a bit. So there we go, a Pyrrhic victory for the Burgundian Castillian lines. We'll take a look at the results here. So Gearhawk being the Duchy of Burgundy and the Kingdom of Castile, Harry Hobbit. So looking at the Burgundian force, pretty solid kills by those Savoyard crossbows, 252 there, and his Cav doing excellent as well, and Charles the Bold doing pretty good. His infantry doing pretty standard. These Free Company footmen, though, that one did good at least. Looking at Castile, his general doing insane. His Cav doing excellent as well. We saw his Cav play in the battle, and his Ballesteros doing well. Infantry kind of, some doing well, some doing not so much. But looking at Azrian Fox, like I said, a lot of his Bondier, they were just meant to hold for a little bit. And then we moved into the Herdmen, a little bit better kills there, and then the Vapeneer. Pretty standard kills, but for their price, I would have expected, more than 12, 13, 10. But his archer is doing pretty well. That's probably where most of his kills came from. And then his Cav, not really being used till the end of the battle, but still getting, 250, 300 kills there. So that's pretty impressive. So yes, thanks Gearhawk for sending this in. And for all of you guys that are watching, thank you very much. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content. And as always, I will see you in the next one.